Shows 6 o'clock. We are the Los Fresnos Community Development Corporation. We're here on Monday, November 2nd, 2020 at 6 p.m. To hear the agenda of our regular meeting. I do, under item A, call this meeting to order. And under B, invocation and pledge.
Please pray with me. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for the opportunity to come together and meet as this board. I pray your blessings upon everybody here in this community. I pray your wisdom over each and every one of them as they make decisions. I pray your counsel as we go through these things. In Jesus' name, amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I didn't mention this, but we have a forum. We have actually a full house. Going on to item number C in the agenda, citizens forum. Ms. Jackie, anybody sign up?
No.
Thank you. We'll move on to the action items under item D. 1, consideration and action to approve the minutes from October 5th, 2020.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of October the 5th, 2020.
I'll second it. There's a motion and a second. We approve the minutes of October 5th, 2020. Is there any comments, questions, discussion? That being the case, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Moving on to item number 2, consideration and action to acknowledge the October 2020 financial report under A, monthly, B, year-to-date, and C, sales tax report.
You were given, when you came in, the monthly and year-to-date. As you can see, we're 1 month in already of the new year, which is 8.33%. We've got 9.23% of the revenue, and I'll talk about that. That's sales tax, and only 1.19 disbursements. That's on page 1. On page 2, you see where it breaks down the sales tax and interest, which is the only 2 revenue sources we have. Then on page 3, it breaks down the different categories. The only expenses we had thus far is DESI and the intern, the work that they do on a regular basis. There is some dues and $240 in advertising. That's the only expenditures that we've had for so far. That's why it's so low. Page 7 is from last year, so really you don't need it. But doing well for the first month. The last thing, which was in your packet because we could prepare that, it shows the October sales tax, which is very good, 13.64% increase over last year. So still, sales tax is still doing well. And if you see right above that, we finished the year at 8.66% above last year. So still trending very, very well. And that's good news for this CDC, the city, and more importantly, our businesses that shows sales, continued sales tax increase. So that's all my report.
That concludes your report? Thank you, Mr. Milan. Do I hear a motion on D2?
I'll go ahead and make the motion to acknowledge the October 2020 financial report, A, monthly, B, year-to-date report, and C, sales tax report.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We acknowledge the October 2020 financial report, A, monthly, B, year-to-date, and C sales tax report. Any questions, comments, discussion? That being the case, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Item number 3, consideration and action to provide funding for Los Fresnos Nature Park project. Mr. Miley.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, as you know, we're continuing to upgrade our nature park. I was working on a summary of funding from, I'm going to say back in 2013, but actually it's, when we started this is 2010. But we spent right at $1.5 million, and I think $1.3 million of it was all grants. So that is pretty awesome. But I'll get that and the different funding sources for not only yourselves, but for the council. You authorized, as well as we had about 60,000 left in a grant fund to be able to do the bird blinds that we did, the trails to them, the water feature, and a butterfly garden area. We wanted to set aside 10,000 just in a budgeted, so that as we need to do things like bird seed, bird feeders, we're trying to work with some youth groups and or volunteer groups that would come in and help cut out some of the invasive plants. There's one in particular, Brazilian pepper. Yeah, thank you. But if we can get a group to do a Saturday, you know, that's better than no group doing it. And so that would be for is for us to buy gloves and things for them to make that help make that happen. Nothing big, major, anything major will come back to you. But what we wanted to do, and the reason why I started working on the summary of the funds, is we're to a point now, we've got a lot of things there, and we want to have a grand opening. We've never really had an opening for it, and recognize Parks and Wildlife, the funds that they had, the county that provided funds, as well as the CDC and the city. So that's what we need the funding for, is just like a budget item that we can do little things as they come up throughout the year.
And you're requesting 10,000?
Yes. You can see in there, you know, do some, you know, maybe a plants here and there, signs where Desi's working on QR codes where you can take your phone and hit the QR code, and it'll tell you about that plant and tell you what it does, or more, tell you things about it that you didn't know. And people that are plant people and bird people, they'll, oh yes, I like that one. So
Do I hear a motion on item D 3?
I'll make a motion to consider an action to provide funding for the Los Fresnos Nature Park projects.
I'll go and second it.
Is there an amount with your motion, Mr.?
With second.
My age shows up every now and then, Mr. Jones. Did you say 10,000? Okay, thank you. I didn't hear that. So we have a motion on the floor that we approve funding for the Los Fresnos Nature Park in the amount of $10,000 to be used on an as-needed basis for various items as explained by Mr. Milam. Any questions, comments, discussion?
No, sir.
I would like to make a comment that, the park's a thing of beauty. It's, really coming together really nice. I have not been out there for, due to work reasons in the past 2 or 3 weeks, but I understand the bike trail is already, there's some work being done to connect it, so, the benches, I'm gonna like because, my kids are young, but I like to sit down every now and then. When I do go walking, I'm sure other people do. And besides, you don't have to sit down because you're tired. You can sit down and admire the beauty of the nature park. So I'm all for it. And those are my comments. Anybody else have any other comments? That being the case, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. $10,000 award approved for funding for the Los Fresnos Nature Park project. Under D4, consideration and action to approve funding to purchase benches for the Los Fresnos Nature Park. Mr. Motto.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this is specific. Several of you mentioned this and I go, yeah, we don't have any benches anywhere. What I recommend is 2 for right now. One about a third of the way and another one about 2/3 of the way. And the reason why not any more than that, as you see in my notes, there's been some people that approached us that said, hey, can we donate a bench? And so that's why in your packet, it has the benches, but the planks are pretty narrow. I found one since then that's about the same price, but the back's a little bit larger, and you can put donated, and we would do that even with the 2 that the CDC provided by Community Development Corporation. Or if somebody wanted to do it as provided by, like I put in there, is Mark and Shannon Milam, if we so chose to put one. And people are asking all the time, hey, can we put a bench out there? Sure. So that would cover it right at $1,000 with the bench, the shipping, and then we would want to put it on a little concrete pad so that it wouldn't roll over, or sink down in the sand. So that's my motion. My recommendation. 2. I would just 2. One at 1/3 and one at 2/3. We have some right around the bathroom area, so at the beginning, so that would at least get it. And then if somebody says, "Oh, well, we'll space them out."
The benches, are they wooden or metal or?
They're made out of recycled material.
Okay.
Pretty hardy. And then there's some that have the ends. I would probably not even put the ends just because they would rust and stuff, but they'll weather well.
Okay.
And I figured the recycled material, it's a nature park. You're supposed to be doing things with to preserve. So makes sense.
Is parts of the bench replaceable if it becomes damaged or vandalized? Okay. Good.
Do I hear a motion?
I would move that we approve the $1,000 for 2 benches and the necessary concrete work out at the park, the nature park.
I second it.
There's a motion and a second. We approve funding to purchase benches for the Los Fresnos Nature Park. Any further questions, comments, discussion? That being the case, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, unanimous. Moving on to item D5, consideration and action to purchase Christmas and blue light campaign decorations.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, if you'll turn to packet page 18. Yes, sir. It's 6211 plus the shipping. Well, shipping shouldn't be too much. But
Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to purchase the Christmas and the Blue Light campaign donation, decorations.
I'll second that motion.
Is there an amount to your motion?
6211 plus shipping.
Do I hear a second?
Yes, I'll second that motion for 6211 plus shipping.
There's a motion that we approve Christmas and blue light campaign decorations in the amount of $6,211 plus shipping, which is to be determined later and should not be very expensive. There's also a second. Do we have any questions, comments, discussion? That being the case, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Ayes have it, it's unanimous. Moving on to item E1, report by CDC consultant for October 2020 under A, business assistance and referrals, B, Los Fresnos Nature Park progress, C, quality of life, community or community activities. Mr. Martinez.
Hi, I'm going to be missing on the I had mouth work done, so my syllables are going to skip a little. So be patient with me. We have had some activity in business assistance referrals, as you can see the 4 areas of work there that we've had through the LFCDC office. Vacant property landlords continue to contact us, and just received the engineering report from our engineer of record for the city on water and sewer, and I'll be sending it to them so they can further look into developing subdivisions, et cetera, in the area. Most of the inquiries are coming in from the new western corridor, business corridor of town, which is west of Old Atlas Road. We had also had an inquiry from USDA, a representative on leasing, that they are going and asked to vacate the county building for the USDA. This house presently that tend to this tick eradication, I would believe, and other USDA work in the area. It's about 25 jobs, and so we've been contacting landowners and property owners all the way up and down our 4-mile strip of business area, Highway 100, to see if we could get some interest to not lose those jobs, go somewhere else. That's part of our job, economic development. So we did contact several businesses. If you're interested in more detail who they were, be glad to contact me, and I'll tell you. The chamber and I, and of course our intern, have been doing a continuous good work. And one of the, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel on things as we do in town with this new normal with developing communication, but working with our existing organizations like the Rotary. And it worked. We had our first connection, which is our workforce office out of Brownsville that provides services and business opportunities and other things to throughout the county. And they were presented there. But our intern and the chamber do that connectivity, I mean. And of course, we always present and update our website on the grants for storefronts, landscaping, and other, and getting this information out. Nature Park, with Mr. Marlin pretty well give you first view on that. there will be a little more work being done all month because this is a month of planting for spring. So we'll see what we can do out there working with Public Works. They've been very, very cooperative. Parks Department, I call it Public Works. And finally, of course, we shall communicate with the Cameron County Education Initiative and picking up a couple of benches that we'll be probably putting out the park or somewhere in the community. Any questions, contact me. You have my information there. And I'll be more than happy to discuss. If you have any contacts for the schools as well, please contact me. That's what it's all about, in the communication with each other and the most open door communication. We can help our small businesses, especially in this period of time. Thank you very much.
Mr. Martinez,
Thank you.
I had a question. On the USDA, you said you had reached out to other facilities, I guess,
In time,
this
yeah.
3,800 square foot facility. Do we have something like that?
We found one for sure. Charlie's down the street. Charlie's parking lot only has 2,000 something. Lopez, I contacted them. They got in touch with her, thinking about, would require them to put a firewall, this or that. Not subdivide, but improve it to. They do have 16,000 square feet, and of course in front the adult care center as well. Right in front where they are right now, it's empty. That's up for sale. They were discussing too. So we started to mobilize. I didn't send it out to the home market. I just sent it right now to our locals in town. But there are some buildings out in our market that still, the idea is to keep them in first in town and then see what that generates. I've done this business before. That was my background, leasing to the federal government, developing facilities. So yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Moving on to item F1, report by general manager. Under A, Little League upgrades, B, planter lighting upgrades, C, weather station, D, infrastructure, caution lights, and E, blue light police officer appreciation campaign. Mr. Milo.
Yes, sir. On the Little League upgrades, remember all we have to do is put the roof on the dugouts. We probably won't do those until after the Christmas season. We'll use all of our personnel to be putting lights up and doing those things over the next few months. But they don't need them until about then, and hopefully they can have a Little League season this coming season. The planters, the lights, the two lights that were still needing help, AEP got that taken care of, so we're good with that. Those lights look good. Just look good if we had like 100 of them down, but down up and down the road, the way they would be really stand out. But as you look at them, they look pretty cool. The weather station, talked to the gentleman today, and it looks a minimum delay is to November 16th. It all has to do with COVID and the production and where plants here and components that go to it just delayed. So one of those things that we have to, I guess, be patient, but we'll have it soon. The infrastructure project with the caution lights for fire and EMS was approved. They are ordered. Once they get in, they'll go directly to TxDOT, and TxDOT's the one that puts them up and installs them. So that's in the works. And then also the blue light police officer appreciation campaign. We've got a lot of stuff planned and ribbons and the blue around the whole city, but especially I told you about the 2 blocks either side of the intersection. We're focusing big on that with lights shining up on some of those buildings. It'll just be a solid blue. I don't remember who had that idea. Raul from Public Works, because we saw some that looked pretty awesome, but they had a bunch of trees and they were just solid blue with lights, so many lights, but we don't have that. And he came up with the idea of these lights that we can shine up on those buildings or down on the buildings to get that same look. So we're working on that, and think it'll be neat. We would probably, if y'all would want to be involved in that, our council's going to be doing recognition of police officers in their meeting in December. In our December meeting, we can let you know when that'll be, but it's the second Tuesday. So welcome to be a part of that, since y'all help fund that as well. Any other questions? That's all I have.
That concludes your report, Mr. Miley.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to G1, we'll take the short run on the committees. Anybody have anything to add or to bring up on committees? That being the case, item H, meeting adjourned.